Do you copy/horror story? My name doesn't matter anymore. Just call me the night watchman at Lookout Tower 4, Grace Wind Nature Reserve. If you had stepped into this room back then, the first thing you would have smelled was rusted metal, rotting wood, and cheap alcohol. All four windows were boarded shut with thick oak planks. Scratched into those boards, by someone decades ago, were ancient Jewish occult symbols, the sigil of Azazel, the fallen angel cast out to bear the sins of the world. The locals thought I was just an eccentric, broken-down forest ranger. They had no idea that hidden under the empty beer cans and ash were stolen police case files. Michael Leeds, a poor bastard framed by local authorities as a serial killer just to close the book on a streak of unsolved disappearances in Grace Wind. They needed a scapegoat to silence the public. But the old ranger logs didn't lie. 1918, 1945, 1972, and now 1999. Exactly every 27 years. Every 27 years, bodies vanish without a trace. I didn't take this job to protect the forest. I came here to wait for it. I remember it clearly. It was a fog so thick even the lantern light couldn't cut through it. The radio on my desk suddenly screeched. The voice coming through the speaker belonged to a young man. He was hyperventilating, begging anyone on the frequency to save him. He claimed to be a hiker lost near Grace Wind Lake, and that something, a creature, walking on two legs, was stalking him in the dark. My fingers tightened around the microphone. My heart hammered in my chest. I knew it. The creature of the 27-year cycle had awakened. I spread the reserve map across the desk. From Grace Wind Lake, there were only two ways out of the marshland. One path led east, cutting through an abandoned mine shaft toward Lookout Tower 2. The other wound up the steep northern ridge, leading straight to the wooden staircase of my tower. Tower 4. Over the radio, the hiker was sobbing uncontrollably. He described the howl behind him, a grotesque sound like a slaughtering goat, yet stretched out into a human scream. He begged me to guide him to my tower, to the light, to safety. I raised the mic to my lip, but my hand froze. I looked at the 1972 crime scene photo pinned to my wall. If I guided him here, the creature would follow his trail. Could these wooden planks really stop an entity that has hunted here for a century? More importantly, if this hiker survived, his story would just be swept under the rug as a wild animal attack. The press wouldn't buy it. Michael Leeds would still die in prison. I needed hard evidence. And the ultimate proof was the corpse of the hunted. With a cold, calculating tone, I lied to him. I told him to turn left, head toward the mine shaft, and make his way to Tower 2. I lied, telling him the path to Tower 4 was a dead-end cliff. I deliberately pushed him into the darkest corner of the woods, turning him into bait so the creature would reveal itself, while I sat here recording its entire hunt. I let go of the mic, started a timer, and pulled out my notebook. The trek from the lake to the mine shaft takes roughly 15 minutes. All I had to do was wait for his final scream over the radio to confirm the creature's location. 5 minutes passed in total silence. Then, the radio clicked back open. The hiker's voice came back through the speaker. But this time, something was deeply wrong. The panic, the heavy gasping. It was all gone. His tone was eerily flat, deadpan. He said he had reached the mine shaft, but it was too dark, and he thought he took a wrong turn. He said he was standing in front of a tower boarded up with wooden planks, blocked by heavy water barrels at the stairs. The place he was describing was my tower. An ice-cold sweat broke out across my spine. My jaw unclenched in horror. Impossible. I sent him toward the mine shaft, the exact opposite direction. How could he be standing at the base of my tower? Unless the voice on the radio was never the hiker to begin with. A wave of delayed terror crushed me. I remembered the newspaper article from 1918. The goat man wasn't just a physical beast with glowing eyes. It was a supernatural predator capable of mimicking human voices. It used fake cries for help to trick naive fools into revealing their exact locations. And I, in my cold, selfish scheme to use a man as bait, had handed it every single detail, every location, and every weakness of my own tower. It was coming up the stairs. The heavy clop of hooves against the wood echoed right outside my door. I pulled my revolver and racked the slide, my hands trembling uncontrollably. Through the gaps in the splintered wood, I saw it. Two eyes burning like red coals in the night fog. A twisted goat skull with sweeping horns cutting through the mist. It wasn't 15 feet tall like the legends claimed. It contorted its body, shifting joints to squeeze through the narrowest spaces. With sharp claws, it tore through the oak planks bearing Azazel's sigils like wet paper, scattering the ancient wards across the floor. It pressed its elongated, wet snout against the broken crack in the door. And then, from deep within its grotesque chest, a voice echoed out. Not the hiker's voice, not the roar of a beast. My own voice. It repeated my exact words from earlier, in a flat, mocking tone. "It's your only way out. You have to die so I can have my evidence. Do you copy?" This is local news for the morning of October 14th, 1999. Authorities in Grace Wind Reserve have discovered Lookout Tower 4 severely vandalized earlier today. The night ranger on duty has vanished without a trace, leaving behind only an operational VHF radio playing static. Police report finding numerous unauthorized investigative files related to the trial of Michael Leeds inside the tower. Investigators suggest the missing ranger suffered from severe paranoia and hallucinations due to prolonged isolation and drug abuse. In related news, a lost hiker was rescued safely near Lookout Tower too early this morning. The hiker claims he survived by following precise navigation instructions given by an unidentified radio operator. Michael Leeds was innocent, but you were not. Thank you for guiding me. See you in 27 years.